Ethnic studies is driven by decolonization and liberation. And so what this means is it's not just, diversity or multiculturalism or inclusion, and it's not just about representation either, though those things are important. Ultimately, what it is about is dismantling white supremacy. And so what this means is certainly it's about, yes, centering the experiences and histories of marginalized communities and specifically people of color. But more than that, more than just kind of including our faces and our experiences, in a classroom or in your curriculum, it's also about considering how decolonization and liberation should drive, everything that we're doing.
As a person of color, sometimes it can be hard at a predominantly white school like Lick, but just having the conversations with these people and knowing that they are needed to be had, and there are other people like me who want to learn more about their own identity, just makes it more comfortable to be myself in this space. And especially within this specific ethnic studies group, we're able to have more difficult conversations. And so many people, a lot of the seniors have talked about how they wish they'd had those conversations earlier on and done stuff like that. So it just inspires me to want to tackle more difficult conversations about race and stuff like that in order to make everyone feel more comfortable in their identity.
Oftentimes I think with certain schools such as that are predominantly white, there's been certain tension regarding certain conversations regarding race and ethnicity and certain issues and things like that. I think working on the ethnic studies working group, it's given me kind of the vocabulary and also just the comfortability to be able to talk about these issues.
Academics aside, I want everyone in the school to understand the necessity for it, and people understand why we need to incorporate other cultures and why I think the white narrative isn't the only narrative. And I think most people have that basic understanding, but I want it to go a little deeper and people understand the celebration within cultures. And something that came up was I'm doing a lot of interviews to faculty members and students is that oftentimes marginalized communities get only known for the wars and all the bad things that have gone on and all the bad things that white people have done to these smaller communities. And while that is all true, there's also some celebration and culture behind that often doesn't get talked about.
It just really means for me that I have a chance to put new policy and practices into place that can make the school even better. And it really just means that I have a chance to make a difference at a place that has already made so much of a difference for me.
So the hope is that when students at this school and adults a couple of years from now can just feel like it's a natural practice to want to know and honor people's histories, honor people's cultures, have and use culturally sensitive language, really show up for events that we put on here to honor and celebrate all the history that's contributed to this country, all the erased history and all the history ethnic studies provides to really highlight everything that's been erased in our past.
I think there's just something really undescribable about kind of being in a space with so many other radical minded folks of color who are working toward this common aim of just liberation.
Everyone's there because they want to be there, and they're there because we all kind of have the same vision, which is to bring ethnic studies to Lick and to have it really kind of blossom into its own thing. And so I think that's kind of where I've felt the most supported. Just working for a cause in which everyone is equally as passionate as I am, if not more.
I really wanted to be a part of this group because I really love ethnic studies, and being able to cultivate a class that's for the students, made by the students, is so powerful. And I feel with my experience and as a Latina who's coming in a predominantly white school, it's really important to put our experience first and put our voices first and make it for the students and for the students. So I really wanted to put in my experience and connect them with other people.
I thought that
wasn't static, but I didn't think that I could actually do anything. Like, I could talk to as many people as I wanted to, or be frustrated over as many things as I wanted to, but I couldn't actually make any change and see any results. And being part of the ethnic studies working group has taught me that that's the complete opposite, and that there's always going to be people around me who think the same, and like that strength that we instill in each other can grow to create these sorts of groups and to put forth this kind of change that we're making. I think I've grown a lot as a leader. I think I've grown in terms of like my knowledge. I think initially I had a really surface level understanding of what it was and what it meant and how important it was, and I think I've grown in terms of that. I've felt super supportive. This community has been really great. I mean, I've made a lot of new connections and upperclassmen, underclassmen, and it's been really great to bond with everyone on the group.
Every student that graduates from our school has an opportunity to look at themselves in the mirror, to really question who they are, where they come from, where they are currently, and where they need to be to make good on our mission to contribute to the world with confidence and compassion. That is my hope, that ethnic studies will be the tool to get us there, and that we'll create the conditions for our students to really look at themselves and each other in ways that are powerful and transformative and constructive.
My whole job is to develop the leadership of our students, and particularly the students who have marginalized identities or live marginalized experiences. I'm here to tell them and to reflect back to them their brilliance, and to remind them that that brilliance and that fullness has a place here.